In the previous video, we told the story of Ögedei Khan's second Western campaign, his governance of the Central Plains region, and his later years. If you haven't watched it yet, feel free to click the link to enjoy the story. Next, we're going to tell the story of Tolui. Stay tuned for the exciting content that's about to unfold. On the vast Mongolian steppe, there was a young warrior named Tolui. His name means mirror in ancient Mongolian, and mirrors symbolized truth and fairness in ancient times. Tolui was born to Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongolian Empire, and his chief wife Bart, as their fourth son. His three older brothers were Joki, Chagatai, and Ögedei. From an early age, Tolui displayed exceptional leadership and wisdom. He was brave and skilled in archery and horsemanship, adept at leading armies and conquering enemies on the battlefield. However, in the political drama of the Mongolian steppe, Tolui also had to face the power struggle among his family and brothers. In 1213, the warriors of the Mongolian Empire were fighting courageously to expand their territory. That year, Genghis Khan decided to divide his forces to attack the Jin dynasty. He assigned Tolui the task of leading the central army to capture Zhuangdifu and Dixingfu. Tolui's central army marched swiftly, first conquering Zhuangdifu. In this battle, Tolui demonstrated extraordinary military talent and courageous spirit. Next, his army successfully captured Dixingfu in this battle. He led his troops alongside his brother-in-law Chigu, breaking through the city walls and taking the city. Afterward, Tolui marched southward, leading the Mongolian army to rapidly capture Dixingfu. Not only was Tolui brave and skilled in battle, but he also possessed foresight and insight. He led the Mongolian army to conquer numerous counties in Hubei and Shandong, incorporating them into the Mongolian Empire's territory. On the vast desert, under the scorching sun and amid flying yellow sand, a powerful army of the Mongol Empire began a world-shaking western expedition in 1219. Tolui and his father, Genghis Khan, jointly commanded the main force, crossing the treacherous desert and heading straight for the heartland of the Khwarezmian Empire. This time, father and son fought side by side. Fearless and courageous, they led the Mongolian army, starting from the Black Sandstone, heading south and crossing the dangerous Iron Gate Pass. Along the way, they were invincible and unstoppable. Genghis Khan knew the brutality of war well. He carefully selected a group of fierce warriors from his various armies, forming an elite force and appointing Tolui to lead it personally. Their goal was to cross the Mu River and capture the cities of Khwarezm. The fortress of Tarajan was situated in a strategically challenging location with solid defenses. The defenders and people of the fortress relied on the difficult terrain. To resist the Mongolian army, Genghis Khan's army besieged Tarajan for 7 months. But they couldn't break through the strong mountain city. However, fate couldn't be changed. When Tolui was ordered to return to his father's side, the mountain city, which had once kept the Mongolian army at bay, was finally captured. Tolui led the Mongolian army, breaking through the walls of Tarajan and flooding into the city like a torrent. In front of the defenders and people of Tarajan, the Mongolian army ruthlessly demonstrated their brutality. The once impregnable mountain city couldn't escape the fate of slaughter. Countless defenders and civilians were massacred by the Mongolian army. Tolui accepted his father's orders, leading a powerful Mongolian army into the region of Khwarezm. There, Tolui would wield his cold steel, showing relentless retribution to cities that dared to resist the Mongol Empire. In the spring of 1221, during the vibrant month of March, Tolui led 70,000 elite warriors to besiege the city of Merv. The city's defenders had bravely repelled a small Mongol force during an earlier invasion, but their resistance only brought them a more cruel fate. The commander of Merv decided to lead his troops out of the city to surrender as the Mongolian army approached. Tolui deceitfully promised safety, causing the defenders and the city's inhabitants to let down their guard. However, once the Mongolian army entered the city, Tolui revealed his ruthless side. He only spared 400 craftsmen and then initiated a merciless slaughter. innocent city residents and surrendered soldiers suffered a massacre in the bloody slaughter. As many as 700,000 people died, and the entire city of Merv was razed to the ground. The horrifying scene left behind by the Mongolian army's brutality was everywhere. The terrifying massacre filled the entire region of Khwarezm with an atmosphere of fear. Cities that once bravely resisted now submitted to the Mongol Empire before Tolui's army, however. Behind the glorious victory were countless tragic scenes, becoming an indelible shadow in history. In that scorching summer, Tolui led the Mongolian army to continue its conquest, shocking the distant Western world. He stared intently at the city of Nishapa, gripping the reins tightly. Determined to break through the strong city walls, the religious leader and nobles in the city racked their brains. Hoping to save the people by surrendering, however, Tolui ruthlessly refused them, ordering the deployment of cannons and trebuchets to launch a fierce attack. After entering the city, his soldiers massacred the residents indiscriminately. Cities like Dus, Nasa, and Zivir also experienced a whirlwind-like sweep under his iron fist. As the summer heat peaked, Genghis Khan recalled Tolui's army back to Tarajan. On their return journey, they attacked Herat, where the soldiers and civilians fought fiercely. After 8 days of intense battle, the defending commander died. Tolui finally allowed the residents to surrender, sparing them from the fate of massacre, however. Jalal ad-Din's 12,000 soldiers were tragically killed. In the Mongol Empire, the tradition of the youngest son inheriting the father's business was far more prominent than in other places. Genghis Khan knew this and divided his lands among his sons, according to tribal customs, leaving his youngest son Tolui by his side to inherit the family's core enterprise. At the same time, Genghis Khan ensured that Tolui would inherit his order, pastures, and armies in the regions of Otrar and Kuz order. These resources were crucial for Tolui's future growth and development, becoming his pillar and protection after his father's death. Genghis Khan left behind an army of 129,000 soldiers. Of these, 101,000 elite warriors were inherited by Tolui, making him one of the most powerful members of the Mongol Empire. This decision showed Genghis Khan's trust and expectations for Tolui and paved the way for his future political competition. However, in 1227, Genghis Khan was bedridden and felt his life was coming to an end. In his final moments, he once again gathered his sons, and after much consideration, he hoped they could unite and support Ögedei as the new great Khan. Yet, in this great empire, traditions and rules remained deeply rooted, according to the feudal imperial system. Once Genghis Khan passed away, his designated successor should immediately ascend the throne as the new ruler. However, the Mongolian Kurultai system, tribal assembly system, made this not so simple. Ögedei could not rely on his father's will to succeed, but had to wait for the final decision of the Kurultai. During the 2-year vacancy of the throne, Tolui, the youngest among his brothers, became the observer of national politics. During this time, he worked hard to maintain his father's wishes, hoping that his brothers could unite and jointly support Ögedei. By 1227, 2 years after Genghis Khan's death, Ögedei should have succeeded as Khan according to his will. However, the Mongolian Kurultai system still existed, and Ögedei could not ascend the throne due to his father's will. He had to wait for the final decision of the Kurultai. This left the throne vacant for a full 2 years, during which Tolui oversaw the country's politics. In August 1229, disputes within the court reached a peak. Some advocated for Tolui, the youngest son, to succeed, opposing Genghis Khan's will. This dispute lasted for 40 days, filling the assembly with tension and passion. However, Tolui was not defeated by the severe situation. With a sincere heart for the country, he firmly believed that he should support his elder brother Ögedei's ascension to the throne. Joki had passed away, and Chagatai fully supported Ögedei, leaving Tolui alone in power. After intense debate, Tolui finally found the answer in his heart. He resolutely gave up his own interests, supported his elder brother Ögedei's succession, and fulfilled their father Genghis Khan's wishes. The end of this dispute not only respected Genghis Khan's wishes, but also considered the bond between brothers and the interests of the state. Tolui's selfless act won the respect of the royal family and laid a solid foundation for the future of the Mongol Empire. In the spring of 1230, the Mongol Empire was flourishing with beautiful flowers and lively grasslands. During this beautiful time, Tolui and Ögedei, the two brothers, were ready to split their forces and attack the Jin dynasty. They faithfully followed the will of their late father, Genghis Khan, and traversed the territory of the Song dynasty with their military force. In 1231, the situation changed. Tolui and Ögedei went their separate ways, each leading elite troops to attack the Jin dynasty. Tolui's army set out from Fengxiong in Shaanxi province, crossed the Wishui River, passed through Baji, and entered Daxiangwan. Meanwhile, Ögedei's army traveled through the southern Song territory along the Han River, through Xinyuan and Yongzhou, and finally crossed the Han River at Zhengzhou and Guanghua before turning north to enter the Jin territory. In the early spring of 1232, Tolui encountered the Jin army in Zhengzhou. It was a snowy night with the earth covered in a silver blanket, and the cold was biting. Under these conditions, Tolui led the Mongol army to defeat Jin generals Wanyan Hido, Yilopu, and Wanyan Chen Hishang. The Jin army suffered a terrible defeat at Sanfeng Mountain, losing their elite troops after this crucial battle. Tolui led his victorious army south to join Ögedei's forces at the Beipo River crossing. In September 1232, according to the lunar calendar, Tolui passed away. On his way back to the Mongolian grasslands, the sky was ink black, surrounded by an atmosphere of sorrow. According to the history of Yuan, Ögedei had fallen seriously ill, and Tolui decided to save his brother by drinking the water the shaman had prepared for Ögedei's treatment. Tolui then died from the illness. However, the story in the secret history of the Mongols is different. In a critical battle, Ögedei contracted a severe disease. To save him, Tolui resolutely decided to sacrifice himself. The shaman believed that Ögedei's illness was caused by the spirits of the soil and water of the Central Plains. The spirits were angry because the Mongols had driven out the people of the Central Plains and left devastation behind. If they sacrificed the land, animals, and people of the Central Plains, it would only worsen Ögedei's condition. However, if they were willing to sacrifice a family member, Ögedei could recover. Thus, Tolui willingly drank the cursed beverage and soon died. However, Tolui's cause of death was not so simple. There were rumors that he was poisoned by a shaman sent by Ögedei at that time. A conspiracy and treachery were blowing through the grasslands, making people suspicious. Tolui's death shocked and frightened the Mongol elite, who began to suspect that Ögedei might have some unspeakable secrets behind him. Tolui was brave and fearless, loyal and devoted. Together with his brothers, they built the great Mongol Empire, and his heroic deeds have been passed down through the ages. Even though the cause of his death remains shrouded in the mists of history, his perseverance, intelligence, and strong sense of justice will never be forgotten. In the upcoming video, we will share the stories of Joki's eldest son Warda and his fifth son Saiban. Stay tuned for the exciting content in the next episode. If you like this story, please help us by subscribing and sharing. Thank you.